I think you would be hard-pressed to find someone who has seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and had no cultural awareness of Spider-Man beforehand. The huge majority of people who saw that movie already had a relationship with Spider-Man, and the film acknowledges this right off the bat.
Look, I'm a comic book, I'm a cereal, did a Christmas album, I have an excellent theme song, and a so-so popsicle.
Plain old Peter Parker tells the audience a lot of things that the audience already knows about Spider-Man. And by doing so, he ends up telling us these are also the things Miles Morales already knows about Spider-Man. With Miles being the main character, this means most of the people in the audience already have something in common with Miles.
You know, with great ability comes great accountability.
That's not even how the saying goes,
I mean, I
Dad.
do like his cereal, though. I mean.
Spider-Man?
It's not after me.
Is that Green Goblin?
Rip Peter represents the ideal Spider-Man. Maybe even the pure concept of Spider-Man, or the concept of doing the right thing when you have the ability to. He does his intro before Miles because the concept of Spider-Man exists before the film begins, as we all knew before we sat down. We all knew who Spider-Man was before the movie started. Rip Peter addresses the film adaptations before him, as well as the marketability of Spider-Man that exists in our universe. Within the film, his purpose is not only to tell the audience, Miles knows the same Spider-Man as you, but also to stand as a powerful contrast to the older version of Spidey. His role is to make the next Peter that arrives feel very inadequate. Yet in other ways, the next Peter is even more connected to the audience, but Miles is more important, because Miles is the only one of the Spider Squad who already knows about Spider-Man before he's bitten. Everyone is a different version of Peter Parker who was forced into the Collider except for Miles, who is himself. He is Miles, not Peter Parker, not Penny Parker, not Gwen Stacy who knew Peter Parker. He's Miles. He has a degree of separation from the rest of the Spider Squad for that reason. No matter how you spin it, Miles is the audience. He is the character whose change is the primary focus of the story. He has a relationship with the idea of Spider-Man, even if it's one of indifference at first.
Spider-Man. I mean, this guy swings in once a day, zip, zap, zop in his little mask and answers to no one, right?
Yeah, Dad, yeah.
Yet, Miles is Spider-Man, despite the differences. Differences that were set in stone thanks to that contract quietly signed between Stan Lee, Marvel, and Sony, stating that Peter Parker must always be male, white, and heterosexual unless presented as an alternate version of the character. Because of that, Miles is the perfect candidate to tell the audience that you can wear the mask. Miles doesn't look like Spider-Man is contractually obligated to look, and odds are neither do you. But Miles still is Spider-Man. Miles does the right thing when he has the ability to, and you can too. Because with great power comes
Don't
great...
you dare finish that sentence. Don't do it. I'm sick of it.
If Rip Peter is the ideal Spider-Man and exists to make Peter B look inadequate, Peter B. Parker is the realist's Spider-Man. He got old and he's a little jaded about the job no matter how good he is at it.
Disinfect the mask. You're gonna want to use baby powder in the soup, heavy on the joints. You don't want any chafing, right?
Anything else?
Nope, that was everything.
He's added a beer belly and a broken nose. Aunt May died. He's lost MJ because he doesn't want kids. He's starting to wonder whether it's all been worth it. He made some bad decisions and is more of an underfunded Spider-Man. As cool as Rip Peter's Spider Cave is, it's part of the fantasy of the perfect Spider-Man. How else are you going to put a huge basement under your aunt's back shed in Queens without drawing any attention to your job? Peter B is probably as close to the real Peter Parker as you can get. This, in effect, makes him an even more wonderful mentor for Miles. Miles is a more modern Spider-Man in many ways, and nowadays we don't really look as favorably on goody two-shoes superheroes. Even the article that broke the news about the Stan Lee/Marvel/Sony contract spent as much time pointing out the insensitivity of it as making fun of Peter Parker for being a dork. Peter B reveals that contract for what it is. Old and tired. To balance out that old and tired is Gwen Stacy.
Oh, you know her. Very cool.
Gwen is like Miles. She's about his age and stands in direct contrast to what is required of Spider-Man's alter ego, a difference that is equally mirrored in their versions of the suit. Gwen's modern, from her asymmetrical haircut to her piercings to her hobbies.
I liked your joke.
Really?
I mean, it wasn't funny. That's why I laughed. But it was smart, so I liked it.
She's introduced in a way that's relatable to Miles. Just a normal middle schooler who's also the new kid. When her true identity is revealed, so is her role. Gwen is everything Miles has the potential to be. Despite not having the parts that make up a single Peter Parker, she still manages to fulfill her role as Spider-Woman, proving it can be done. And she's able to break one of the cardinal rules of Spider-Man, the man part. And she's still really good at the job. She also reminds the audience of one of the most important morals of the story, that you are not the only one going through your struggles.
I know how hard this is, to have to figure this stuff out on your own. It's kinda nice, not being the only Spider-Person around.
This culminates in Miles learning to use the parts of his powers that make him unique to his advantage and reach the skill level of the Spider Squad. By having characters like this that kind of represent ideas and morals, as well as fully fleshed out characters with their own lore, it works in conjunction with every other perfect corner of this film to drive home the core values. Everyone has the potential to do better and improve. What makes you different is strength. You are not alone or the first one to struggle. And Stan Lee was, at heart, a profit-driven kind of guy. Thanks so much for watching this whole video. Really grateful you stuck all the way through on this one. Also, big thanks for watching my first non-Harry Potter video. I've definitely not said everything I have to say about Potter, but I also have a lot of things to say about other things, so... I have an Instagram if you want to keep tabs on me in the long months before I make another video. I'll probably put it up here somewhere. I can answer any of your questions below. Thanks again for sticking around for the whole thing. Sorry if this was a mess. And sorry if you can hear my cat. Meow into the mic.